Let's see how well you really understand features and benefits. Because a few other speakers talked about this, and I'm just curious. So take a piece of paper. You got notepads in front of you if you want. You can use the workbook. And pick one of your products, services, keynotes, I don't care what, and I want you to think about what are the benefits. In other words, why are people going to spend money on that, whatever it is, product or service? I'll give you 30 seconds or so to do this. There's no right or wrong answer. Just write something down. And the vendors that are in the room, your marketing products and services, tell me why. Tell me what the benefit is. I really want to be clear. Okay, looks like a few of you are done. Raise your hand if you're ready to share with me what you're... Okay, in the front right here. Yes.
Fashionable and it's lightweight.
Okay, now, was that a benefit or features? Features. Right, those were all features. Beautiful, all those things were all features, because what he was describing is if it's about you, your product or service, your company, it's a feature. Now, you could split hairs on this all day long. Let's not get hung up on this too much. But be really clear that it's an emotional value that you're adding. That's what I really want you to leave here with. You know, you could argue all day long, well, it's beautiful. Well, yeah, but what does it really do for them emotionally? Intangible. Benefits are usually intangible. Now, here's the magic words. So we're going to work with you on your product. So what was your product or service? What is it?
It's a fashion stick.
It's a fashion statement.
Right. No,
Stick. Fashion stick. Fashion stick. Okay, good.
Fashion stick made for women that need a cane.
Okay, so it's a fashion stick, it's people who need a cane. So it's fancy and it gives them a lot of different choices. Okay, so let's turn it into beautiful, which means. So let's use these keywords on the left side of the page here, or right as you're speaking. You get or which means. That's going to help us convert a feature to a benefit. That's the magic word. So it's beautiful, which means what? You're going to look good. You're going to look good. So one of the benefits would be you're going to feel better, you're going to look better, you're going to attract positive attention, whatever, but you want to attach it to what the person gets, not about the product. Okay? Anybody else? Anybody confused on this? I was doing a program in New York, a group about this big. We were doing this little exercise in one of my seminars, and a gentleman in the back of the room said, 15 years experience. What's that, a feature or benefit? It's a feature, right? And I say from the front of the stage, hey, it's a feature. And he's mad. You know, he's like pounding his hand on the table. I've been in business. You don't know crap. And he said a few other words. I won't do that for the purposes of the NSA. So I'm saying, look, I play hockey. I grew up in the streets. Bring it on, buddy. I don't really care. You know, I'm used to it. I do this 3 nights a week. You know, so I kept on saying, okay, well, what does that mean? He goes, well, damn it. It means people can trust me. I said, is that on any of your literature? Is that on your website? Is that anywhere? And he's like, no. I said, do you have any testimonials that say anything about trust? No. I said, well, you think maybe you would change that? Because he was so proud that he'd been in insurance sales for 15 years and didn't think about the value that brought was people could trust him if he'd been in business that long. He went back and changed his stuff, sent me a glowing testimonial, and turned out to be a great guy. So, and I didn't have to kill him. So the point is, think about what you can do to turn your features into a benefit. All right? Now let's take a look at your online audience so we can move into the internet marketing part. Who's your audience? Planning your navigation and unique messages to targets and headlines and action steps. I want you to become clear. If I go to your website, who am I and what am I looking for? And do I know how to buy your products? Now, Stephanie Palmer's in the room. Stephanie, where are you at? Raise your hand. Stephanie Palmer was kind enough to tell me I could go to her website and look at her website to do a hot seat. And we'll pull it up in a minute. Now, Stephanie teaches, and she can explain this better than me, I'm sure, but how to be good in a room. People, screenwriters come to her. She helps them polish their presentation skills so they have a better chance of looking good in the room. Is that a fair, accurate? And if they look good in a room, they have a better chance of getting their proposal taken seriously and their movie being made, right? Okay. Now, I went to Stephanie's site. One thing that was missing. There was no action steps on the bottom of the page. So on every page I went to, there wasn't anything that said, call us for a free consultation, call us to find out how our system works, download this free report, give me your email. There wasn't any specific action step that told me what to do. And I'm thinking, wow, she could do a few little things. That might help people actually stay on her site and get more customers. So you want to think about who your audience is. Now, if you've got bureaus, if you're a celebrity speaker or someone who's been speaking for years and you do all your work through bureaus, your messages are going to be different. If you're a new speaker or you're a trainer, I'm a trainer. I'm not a keynoter. I know I'm not a keynoter. I mean, I have Keynote on my one sheet, but when they call me, I tell them, what do you want, a half-day, full-day program? And that's usually what the type of programs that I do. So I specialize in what I know. I don't try to do the things I don't know. So you really want to become clear on this. So who could tell me, who would have more than one audience coming to their site? Someone in here. Who would you have? Yes, so who do you have coming to your site?
I'm a career counselor, so on the one hand, I target people who just graduated from college and don't know what they want to do.
So a career counselor, people who just graduated from college and don't know what to do. So you got those. Midlife career changes.
And people who are retiring and want to have health.
And people who are retiring. So she's got 3 different markets. Now, if I went to your website, would it be perfectly clear to me if I opened it up and I landed on your site which section I should go to?
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right. Give her a round of applause. She earns the Magic of Marketing book. Yay. You hand that to her? Okay. Now, I'm sure I didn't bring books for everybody because I'm sure there's a few of you. Hey, mine doesn't do that either. Hey. But seriously, I want you to think about going through your own site. The things that I'm going to be telling you today, you can do. You can hire me to come and look at your site. I'm going to tell you the same things I'm telling you here. What's your message? Who you're marketing to? How you're trying to deliver it? In the case of the internet, you've already got one of the 3 figured out. You're using the internet. That's your method. So skip that one and focus on the messages and the target market. And make sure it's clear. And if you're not sure, test it. And we'll talk about testing in a little bit. All right. So we talked about action steps. What I want you to do is I want you to go back. This is something you'll do later, not right now. But I want you to look at all your products and services, get a highlighter, and I think I learned this from Dan Kennedy like 20 years ago. Dan, if you don't know Dan's stuff, Dan Kennedy's a master marketer. I learned a lot of my stuff from him. I've got all kinds of mentors, some of them alive, some of them dead that I've read their books from years ago. But one of the things Dan said was to get a highlighter and highlight the key words. If it's a benefit, use one color, and if it's a feature, use the other color, and see what your materials look like. See if they're going to actually attract attention.